What is the worst question you can ask an author? What is your story about? Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens, and this is Carly Stevens Books for all things writing, publishing, and indie author life. And today I'm going to walk you through how to write an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is just a very short and succinct explanation of what your story is about. People use elevator pitches for not only casual conversation when you get that horrible question, what is your story about? But also book signings, if you are trying to get agented for a traditional publishing path. Really, there are lots of reasons why it's important to have an elevator pitch for your story in your back pocket. That way you don't just ramble about your story, because let's face it, we're all really close to our work, and sometimes, even if we've written an entire novel, it can be difficult to explain what that's about without getting kind of into the weeds, and that can get boring for people to listen to because they're not as close to it. So how do you articulate what your story is about in a succinct way? Let's go through it step by step. Step 1, identify the genre. What is the genre of your story? Is it a young adult fantasy? Is it a dark romance? Is it a cozy mystery? What is it? So identify that first. That's going to be at the very beginning of your elevator pitch. 2, who is your protagonist? For your elevator pitch, you want to limit the number of names to 1, maybe 2, because the person listening doesn't know these people. They don't find them to be like family like we sometimes do. So what is the name of your main character? And then what is an adjective that you could use to describe that character so that we're connected to, maybe this is a determined person, or maybe this is a sweet person, or just what's the vibe of the main character. Number 3, identify the central conflict. What is the sticky situation, basically? Now, this can be a little bit more challenging, but I've talked about through lines before as a method of plotting, kind of taking somebody from the beginning of your story to the end. What is that central question or that initial situation that really gets the reader hooked, that unravels throughout the rest of the story? So what is that in just a sentence, that sticky situation? And then what's at stake if they don't get it? What could go wrong if they don't accomplish their goal or figure out this sticky situation, as it were? The last piece that is really helpful oftentimes when you're articulating your story idea to somebody is to have some comp titles, some comparable book or movie titles that you can say, okay, think it's kind of like this story. It has maybe the vibes of this story, but the setting of this story. Having a couple of those, especially if they're recent, that's usually helpful. Mine tend to be a little bit older, but really well known or really recent comp titles are great. So if you go to my website, carly-stevens.com /resources, you'll find an entire elevator pitch worksheet that you can work through. Basically, you'll fill in the blanks with some of this information, and then you'll be given a script with a few different examples of what that could look like. If this is something that you do need additional help with, I think everybody needs a little help with their elevator pitch, and so that's why I took what I've learned from doing a lot of live events and having to pitch my stories a lot. As an example, the Tanyuan Academy series, the complete series, is on pre-order right now. It comes out October 1st. But it's a young adult fantasy about a guy named Furion who gets into an elite academy of mental warriors, and he's willing to do anything to be the best, even some very bad things. So the story is what happens when everything begins to unravel. Think The Matrix meets An Ember in the Ashes. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Do head over to my website if this is something you would like to work through. If you want to practice, then please give me your elevator pitch down in the comments below. I would love to see how it all kind of works out. It should only be about 3 sentences long, so not too much to put in a comment. All right, best of luck to you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.